So far, things have existed in a crossfire between the US, Israel, and Iran. Iran has hit back, but many people watching the combat are wondering whether a maximum war or a maximum escalation situation that doesn't quite become a nuclear exchange is even possible. Is that possible? Let's try and simulate some of the steps. And I want to start with something that actually did happen yesterday. So this is how it all begins if we were to simulate this entire situation simply spiraling completely out of control. Now, I want to put a disclaimer here and say this is not what anybody should wish for, but this is war. It's a terrible business and things do tend to go out of control. What if it was a nightmare scenario? Step number one. Iranian missiles hit the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is in the Persian Gulf. Mind you, this is something that the Iranians actually did yesterday, never mind that they missed. Let's assume that the missiles actually hit in a theoretical scenario. 47 sailors are killed. The nuclear-powered supercarrier is disabled. It's the first successful strike on a US supercarrier in history. What happens next in this simulation? Step number two, the US responds by wiping out the Iranian Navy. Again, this is already sort of happening. Every Iranian naval asset in the Gulf is destroyed within hours. The IRGC Navy simply ceases to exist. This, by the way, like I said, has begun to happen in the Chabahar port and elsewhere, but now it goes many steps further. Then they escalates to step number three. Iran reinforces its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. It has already blocked it, now it reinforces it. It lays mines on the Strait of Hormuz and targets tanker traffic. Oil spikes by 60%. The global economy gets a massive shock. This is what the world is really scared about, by the way. Then it goes to step number four and spirals even more out of control. The US comes in to the Strait of Hormuz and forcibly opens it. Two US aircraft carrier groups clear the mines from the strait. US Marines seize and occupy Iran's Keshem Island, which straddles the Strait of Hormuz off the coast of Iran, and the strait then opens, but just barely. It's still a very precarious situation. Step number five. Now that Iran is hugely under pressure, the United States is at its doorstep. It unleashes its proxies. The Hezbollah in Lebanon, they unleash 150,000 rockets, theoretically. Remember, this is all just a simulation. Those rockets go and hit northern Israel. They go and hit northern Israel, where Israel's Iron Dome is overwhelmed. Israel suffers its worst civilian casualties since its founding. Then, step number six, Israel invades Lebanon once again. It has happened several times before. Israel is forced to start a ground invasion. 3 armored divisions push 40 kilometers into Lebanon. Urban warfare of the kind we saw in the last couple of years erupts. All Israeli reserves are activated to a full war scenario. Then comes step number seven. Iran and its proxies target every US base. It's already happening. Remember, it's not unrealistic, but this is a simulation. Iraqi militias, the Houthis and Syrian proxies simultaneously attack all US forward positions. The whole region is suddenly escalating by many degrees. Then comes step number eight. The US effects a second Iranian decapitation. They've already decapitated the main leadership. Now it's a second-rung decapitation where American B-2 stealth bombers destroy the remaining Revolutionary Guard Corps command infrastructure and all the military control nodes. Iran's parallel military structure is smoked in just a matter of a few hours. Iran goes cyber in step number 9 as a response. Aramco has already been struck with missiles in Saudi Arabia. That happened in real life today. Now in this simulation, Aramco crashes online. Dubai's financial system goes dark. Gulf desalinization plants are compromised, which means water for the entire region is compromised. Civilian infrastructure collapses. This is where it starts to become even more troubling. Then step number 10, Saudi Arabia steps in and declares war on Iran. Saudi Arabia, which has entered the war in a limited way already today, formally joins the war at full scale. The war is now a regional alliance in the Gulf versus a desperate and dying Iran. Then comes step number 11. Iran targets Israel's nuclear sites. 20 Iranian ballistic missiles or hypersonic missiles are aimed at Israel's nuclear facility. Seen as a final warfare escalation, a desperate final step before the inevitable end. Step number 12, Israel signals the unthinkable. The Israeli Prime Minister warns the next Dimona strike would trigger a response that Iran has never ever contemplated. And then comes step number 13, which is the final straw, where the US ends all remaining Iranian missile and command infrastructure. Every silo, every launcher and production facility hit in a single 90-minute window. Iran loses its long-range strike capability entirely. There is simply nothing left in terms of offensive action or offensive power. And Iran threatens a dirty bomb in response. This is absolutely the final step. The remnant Revolutionary Guard Corps units broadcast footage of radiological material. The Gulf capitals begin partial evacuations out of fear of a dirty bomb. No one knows if it's a bluff or if there really is something that Iran has in its hand. And then the nightmare scenario, it's maximum war with no exit. Iran is militarily finished. No navy, no air force, no missiles, but 85 million potentially radicalized Iranians and a regime with nothing left to lose is the most dangerous Iran imaginable. The ladder has one more rung. You already know what that rung is. But like I said, this is a sub-nuclear scenario, and everyone knows that this may not be where it finally stops.